Thank God you came. How many more days could I wait? Make plans with you, and I won't let them fall through. I think I lie for you. I think I die for you. Jealousy cry for you. Do things when you want me to. Like control, yeah, like control. Don't work like that when you love somebody. My old flex is my new flex now, and we're working on it. That's why I need all the energy that you bring to me. My last girl would tear me apart, but she never wanna split a thing with me. But when it comes to you.
Are you not tired? Now, if you remember, Chidinma was that stunning law student who made it to the top 10 of Miss South Africa back in 2024. We spoke about it a lot. But the moment people heard her last name, additional, the internet went crazy, especially in South Africa. They were like, wait. Is she even South African? Where is that surname from? Is she Nigerian? So what happened? Home Affairs started digging into her background and boom, they discovered that her mother, Annabella Rongo, allegedly got her South African citizenship fraudulently, allegedly. And that's when things started unraveling. Chidinma eventually had to pull out of Miss South Africa. She packed her bags, went straight to Nigeria and went for the Miss Universe Nigeria. And guess what? She won. Not just that, she went on to Miss Universe and she finished as the first runner-up. And you would think that the story ends right there. But no, because South Africa was not done. Chidinma's mother, Annabella, just got detained by South Africa's Home Affairs. Apparently, her South African documents had already been revoked. But she was caught in Cape Town using her Mozambican passport to stay in the country. Now, authorities are saying that she's been illegally living in South Africa and she's now under investigation. She's under investigation, she's not been found guilty. But here's the part that really blows my mind. How this whole thing even started, right? Chidinma was literally just out grabbing a coffee at the Life Grand Cafe in Cape Town when someone spotted her, took a picture, blasted it over social media, and just like that, all hell broke loose. People started demanding her arrest, calling for investigations. Why is she here? How did she get in here? And they even tagged Home Affairs to take action. They were also petitioning to have the Home Affairs Minister removed because of how this case has been handled. And get this, the person who exposed her was being hailed as national hero. That is the person that took a picture of her when she went to grab coffee. Like, how much hatred do they have for this girl? How does casually getting a coffee turn into a full-blown scandal? But let's be honest, this whole situation is deeper than just legal technicalities. It's about identity, citizenship, and whether we like it or not, xenophobia. It's given xenophobia. South Africa has a history of tension with Nigerians. And some people feel like Chidinma was never really accepted because of her Nigerian roots, even though she was born in Soweto and she lived all her life there. Others argue that rules are rules.
So that is it. And notice she's a dark-skinned girl, right? She's a dark-skinned Nigerian. She is a South African. She was born in South Africa, but her mother was not, you guys. So now you guys got the nerve to come over here and try to criticize Black America. And then on top of that, you want this young man is so intelligent, y'all. I'm almost 80 years old, and I just love his wisdom. My 32-year-old grandson introduced me to him, but y'all know what? He proves a point that the South Africa would rather fight their own people, their own Africans that immigrate into their country rather than the colonizers. And I'm going to prove that point. Say, for example, Miss Nigeria. She was born in and I believe she was, what name, Chidinma? Wherever. Her mother was born in Nigeria. So what? They kicked her out of the pageant because her mother was a Nigerian. Therefore, they classify her as a Nigerian also. Let me just let y'all hear what this young man is saying. Marquez, also, y'all remember he's the millionaire that was trying to buy the school or say that FD, Frederick Douglass, y'all know Marcus Garvey's Academy. He's the same man. Anyway, here we go.
Which are the only South African.
Okay, we started from the beginning.
This is a message to the Black South Africans, which are the only South Africans. If you're not Black, you're not really a South African. You are one who immigrated or who invaded. This is a message to you Black South Africans. Many of you are deeply ignorant and lost and hateful, mostly of yourselves. And that's why it's so easy for you to enact that hatred on other Blacks who immigrate into your country, be it legally or illegally. Mostly they seek the same thing, economic opportunity, such that they might be able to provide for their family, which is a typical thing among humankind. Do I believe that a nation state should have borders and processes to let folks in? Yes, absolutely. Citizenship does mean something. But for you Black South Africans, you natives, I think it's strange that you find it so easy to look at the Zimbabweans or look at the Nigerians, other Blacks, and hate them. Why? Because you're both competing and struggling to gather up those crumbs that have fallen from the table of the apartheid white South Africans. They seem to be beyond reproach, a minority that controls the majority of your economy, the real wealth, the real power. And you don't attack them. You don't tell them that they're immigrants, that they're foreign invaders, that they need to go back to their countries. They're in Africa. They're not Africans. How is it that you find it easier to tell someone who's Shona to go back to their country, but you can't tell this fellow over here speaking Dutch or speaking whatever European language he speaks that he needs to pack up and go back? I find it strange. It's so easy for you to hate the Black Zimbabwean, the Black Nigerian, the Black immigrant, because you hate yourself.
Don't forget the Black Americans, because they really show extreme hatred for Black Americans, and we haven't done anything to them. They blame us. Tyler Sells, when she came over here, was alone. They could have bought. They could have bought the album. What she say? He said, "Imagine a country trying to build itself out of apartheid, and then suddenly has an influx of people who come to compete for the same." Well, we do it in America every day. Every day with you immigrants, we do it here. Black Americans, you guys come over here after our ancestors, the folks struggled, died, and then gets over here and give us y'all butt to kiss and disrespect us. G Play Zilla says, "I'm a student." Let me see if y'all can see this. "I'm a student at the University of Johannesburg studying engineer. I would like to say, well said, Marquez." And this one says, "If Zimbabwe is doing so well, why are so many fleeing their country?" We can say the same thing about y'all here when y'all come here in America. I'm a 21-year-old man realizing and learning our history, that our ancestors were weak and our parents are terrified of white. Shocks me. Now, let me just see how y'all come on.
Okay. Tyler last album just did 3.
This is the Peapod Cove. Peapod Cove. And we're talking about Tyler fans wants Black America to accept color. Here's why. This is who this credit going to. South African who support Tyler. Why y'all didn't buy her album?
5,000 album units sold. What the fuck y'all at? Under one of my videos I made about Tyler, I got like 1 million views. South Africans tore my ass up. I'm trying to figure out where are all of these people. Tyler can be in America and do X, Y, and Z. Tyler is in America making y'all mad. Tyler in America, Tyler in America, Tyler in America. What the fuck y'all South Africans doing? Why y'all not showing her love?
So this coming from P Pod Cove Life, right? Tyler fans want Black America to accept color. Here is why. South African who support Tyler, why y'all didn't buy her album? Seems like I think she sold just under 4,000 here in America, but you guys could have bought her album. Why do you guys accept color? Being colored in South Africa means that I'm better than you if you're darker than me. I get more benefits because I'm closer to white than you guys. I'm surprised you guys accepting that, especially you native, the darker ones. And with that color, what happened? The colonizer was taking advantage of these women. That's what that remind you of. But you so proudly to say I'm colored. You so proudly to come to the United States and walk in black people's spaces. Expect for black people to pay you money. Expect for black people to put you out there. But yet you don't want to identify that part of you. Now, when she was on the Breakfast Club, this man did not. All he did was ask her to explain what this color thing. We're looking for education, and you guys don't know nothing about Black American history, but you think you do. Every last one of y'all in the African diaspora report the same old thing that the colonizer tell y'all. They tell us negative things about y'all too, but y'all, we do not repeat those things. We get out and research it and learn for ourselves. Here it is, you guys. Shout out to P Pop Cold Life.
What happened? Y'all Tyler fans be going so motherfucking hard in South Africa. I see why she had to come to the States.
And that's one of the things I asked. How come nobody listens to her music? Now I could say if they said, oh, she streamed 40,000 and only 3,000 of it was in the United States. I'd be like, oh, okay, she good. She have fans around the world is still tuning in. But apparently no one tuned in for this. Who listened to it? If you listen to the Tyler album, let me know down in the comments if you listen to it. Because I want to know. I haven't heard it.
Tyler discourse has gone off the rails, and now many British creators are joining the conversation. There seems to be a clear contrast between those Africans who
everybody around the world has tuned into this conversation, and it is what it is. We got to talk about it, right?
Who have lived in America and those chiming in from the UK, in which the Brits are continuously speaking on American culture when you lack a concrete understanding of said culture and the context and framework of being Black in America. You guys dogpile on Americans because you've been socialized to believe that's okay. And you give space for xenophobia yourself in your comment sections by throwing out rhetoric that you've been taught your whole life. You throw out American exceptionalism every time someone challenges your worldview of an American because you inherently don't understand what you're commenting on when you lack the nuance, the understanding, and it's disingenuous to refuse to accept that Black Americans understand the history of others and have enough pride and autonomy to reject its legitimacy here due to its meaning for us. You being British or Black anywhere outside of the Americas or former colonies, you don't have the same relationship with race or being Black because you're not a product of slavery. And it's disingenuous to take the superior moral high ground that Americans are dumb and centering themselves when you can't even identify racism if it smacked you in the face. You consuming American media does not give you enough education in America, but especially not Black American history or culture to comment with such authority. People are continuously conflating consumption with knowledge, and those two things do not go hand in hand. They never have. This conversation is no longer about Tyler. It's about those in the diaspora who actively come to America and seek American success and access to Black American spaces, culture, and the dollar refuse to do the work to learn our cultural norms and respect those things. If you go to Dubai, would you respect Dubai's culture? You would, right? Well, why not ours? Black Americans are viewed with a certain level of hatred, animosity, and envy throughout the diaspora due to us being American and how America is viewed throughout the world. But in all your commentary, you forget that Black people are the colonized within the colonizing entity. So our history, our struggle, and our very recent oppression is real for us. So we are proud to be Black, and anyone who alienates themselves from that Blackness won't be accepted. Black Americans ourselves are multi-generational mixed people. We have several different groups within our own ethnicity: Creoles, Melungeons, Gullah Geechee, to name a few. To think we don't understand that colored in South Africa is a multi-generational mixed group is not only wrong, it's lazy, and it stems from your preconceived notions about Americans. Tyler had time to explain, but she chose not to in her initial interview, which on the Breakfast Club, which raised a lot of eyebrows. But she's in America, and any country and any culture can identify when something feels like a shrug to you and your people. Once again, I have to drive this point home that Black people in America are the colonized people. Our culture, our history was created here in a vacuum through slavery, colonization, and a century of apartheid ourselves. So we know firsthand what it feels like othering and those who don't want to identify as such. We are pro-Black. Black American culture is loudly Black because Blackness is all we had to defy our former masters, build our culture and our place here. Many times Africans or others in the diaspora come to America and benefit off the fight of our ancestors have done for us to have equal rights in this country and align themselves with whiteness while spewing a lot of anti-Black sentiments and rhetoric. We've seen this time and time again. I've seen it within my own family. South Africans, Black British, and many people in diaspora know very little about America and Black American history or culture, no more than Americans know anything about South African culture or South African history. The difference is Americans aren't coming to your country
Now, I know about it because coming from the West Indies, I learned about a lot of with geography, and I always wanted to travel. So geography was something I was always big on. So it depends on who you speak to. I know a lot of my friends are Caribbean as well. I came in, I was 9, and I grew up in American culture. I'm 40. I'm going to be 49 in a couple of months. So I've lived here my entire life, most of it, pretty much. And
I was doing a study abroad in Cape Town, and I lived in Greenpoint, and I learned very quickly the racial dynamics were very different in South Africa than they were in America. It felt like I was kind of like in 1960s America. And I had to ask myself why every time I heard the term colored, I was triggered in class. We were talking about racial descriptions, and every time someone said they were colored, I was like, ugh. And it's because of the history of what that word means to me and my family here. Most colored people in South Africa would just be Black in America. And it's not that I didn't understand that there was a difference in both countries. It was, okay, I'm in South Africa now. I have to get over whatever I care about because this word here doesn't have a meaning to me, and these are people that matter. I understood that very quickly. But for some reason, you guys can't understand that when you come to America, which most people in the world do to make money, that same rule applies. Makes you go home.
Watching this video, you should clearly understand what the word means and why a lot of people are upset. Because if you're telling a bunch of Black people that you're better,